Hello and welcome to our Pittsburgh Sportsline live in the BPTV studio. Got the new black curtain here. I'm blending into it, so if you don't see me that well, it's this black polo that's merging with that curtain, but it's nice and soundproof in here now. It sounds like a whole different professional studio. Glad we got it going here. Thanks to Dave Cable, Bethel Park, and everybody else involved in doing this and soundproofing the room and getting us up to speed here. And we got lights coming. New lights will be here that Devin Shea suggested, so can't wait for that. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. Chip Hayner's here. Smoking Jim has still got the mystery car with the transmission that he can't get out of God's country, so he's not going to be on our show again, and Chip and I will try to carry on like we do. I don't think we're at a loss for words, so we'll be able to carry this on. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Appreciate all of you, and thanks for your great comments. And Verizon 32 in Bethel Park, and all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, and all points in between. We appreciate all of you watching our shows. We hit a high of 6,647 likes. Thanks for watching our show and liking our page. I appreciate that. I got some promos I got to bring out and start with. So first is Olive Oil's Pizzeria sponsors our show. And here's their little flyer there. Give them a call, 412-831-1900. Thanks for the pizza and the hoagie. We appreciate it. Great food. Check them out. Give them a call, 412-831-1900. Then I end each show with Stay Joey Strong. There we go. There we go. Thanks, Devin. That's Joey with DIPG. And before DIPG, died at 9 years old for brain cancer. Go to the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. You can donate money, and it all goes to finding the cure for brain cancer. And they have an event. I'm going to show this. All right. May 4th, Friday, May 4th, 7 o'clock, night at the races. Not sure how this will focus here, Devin. It's at the community center there. You can get horses for $10, name your own horse, and win potentially $40 if your horse wins. So that's Friday, May 4th. Check it out at the community center. All the proceeds go to the 501c3 Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. So check that out. They have great events. It'll be a great time there. Let's see what else they got there. For calling tickets, Jeff Fabus, 412-726-5740. David Fabus, Joey's dad, 412-758-1121. Jonna Burke, the girls' high school basketball coach, on the board there, 412-251-7395. Autumn Metzmer, 412-877-9994. And the Secretary-Treasurer, Larry Shaw, 412-327-7141. And Joey's sister, Cindy Fabus, 412-722-4388. They need sponsors, donors for food, drinks, door prizes, auction items. There'll be a 50-50 or two. It'll be a fun event. And again, it all goes to the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation to fight DIPG. The Joey Fabus Night at the Races. Check that out. All right, we got that. Now the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center in Bethel Park, where the trolley's at. Check them out. It's 501c3, does a lot of great things in the community. They just put 5,000 windows in the old schoolhouse, so it looks great. Check it out when you go by on South Park Road. If you need money for your group, $100 to $5,000, bpcf.org. Go get an application and try to get money for your group or organization in Bethel Park that's doing some good in the neighborhood. They have money. Then Dave has some fun at my expense with Uncle Sam. Uncle Al wants you for BP TV. We got Devin Shea here running cameras, soundboard, hooking up mics, doing everything. You could be doing the same thing with him with the different shows that we have here at BP TV. Call Dave Cable, 412-831-3304. Give him a call because Uncle Al, the talking machine, wants you. All right, that's our promos. We also have another sponsor of What's on Your Mind, and that's what we start our show off with. What's on Your Mind? Skeets Lewandowski of Skeets Service Station. He's right down there past Trax Farm, Mineral Beach. You can give him a call, 724-348-4715. He works on anything that runs on gas. Believe me, he's good. He'll get your car, truck, lawnmower, weed whacker, boat, you name it, tractor, running. So give him a call out there. Again, 724-348-4715. Now we're going to start with What's on Your Mind, Chip Hayner.
Oh, thank you, Alan, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to our humble sports talk show. And you asked me what's on my mind, and I think I've got a brainstorm. I've just had an epiphany. I think we ought to invest money into PNC Park. We need to enclose the park, install a subarctic refrigeration system, and all the games this year should be played at between 35 and 40 degrees. Because right now, with the northern part of the United States in a deep freeze, the Pittsburgh Pirates are red hot. Our Buccos, after the first 10 games, are 8-2, and who would have thought?
Not I.
You know, I had said all along I felt that this team was going to be better than people would give it credit for, and they're a lot of fun to watch right now. But what's really on my mind is, you know, I sit there and I listen to some of the more esteemed talk show hosts who shall remain nameless, because I'm not one to throw around names. But everybody seems to, you know, want to continue to bash the Pirates, and everybody wants to complain about the moves they made or they didn't make over the winter. And actually, the moves that they made this winter made the team better, not worse. And, you know, we have a product that's being put forth on the field that's actually enjoyable to watch. But people are wasting their time and their breath hating on Bob Nutting, and you know, there's actually people that are rooting for the Pirates to lose all of their games. And what I don't understand is, if you claim to be a fan of the Pittsburgh Pirates, how could you wish them such ill? I mean, maybe it's just me, but I thought that people wanted to see the Pirates win. Okay? I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit confused, but, you know, now that
you're just naive, that's all.
I might be naive, and I may be a homer or whatever you want to call me, but right now they're playing an excellent brand of baseball, and people are saying that, oh, well, they haven't really played anybody. Well, last time I checked, they played Major League Baseball teams, and every game that they're playing right now does count. And if people could just get past the point of hating the owner of the team and appreciating the product that's being put out on the field and getting behind the players and rooting for a team that's worth rooting for, you might find out you might enjoy yourself this summer. You know, you might have a team that's worth rooting for. There are no guarantees, and yes, they're only 10 games into the season. I understand that. This is a 162-game season. It's 6 months long. They haven't done anything yet, but they certainly did get off on the right foot. And, you know, you got to start the journey off in the right frame of mind. They're 8-2 right now. The highest scoring team in Major League Baseball. Again, we're only 10 games into the season, but if people could just get past hating the owner of the team and rooting for the team on the field, I think they might find that we've got a team that's worth watching. But that's what's on my mind.
Thanks, Chip. Let's go Bucks. What's on my mind is I predicted a three-peat for the Penguins. It took a while during the season. They turned the switch in January, started winning. They got the home arena advantage now. So we're going to play the Philadelphia Flyers. So, you know, I have good and bad memories about the Flyers. Chip put his apprehensions out there with Devin and I earlier. back to 2012, and I recall that, but I'm thinking forward. Flyers had some streaks of winning, had some streaks of losing, and they're going to be losing here. Penguins are going on to this three-peat this year. We got there. We have the players. We got the firepower. The defense does have its lapses. We can all talk about it, and we will, in a later segment. But I'm all about the Penguins and the Flyers Wednesday night. Let's go, Pens. On your way. We'll be back with Chip and his trivia time.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to my trivia segment. And, with the start of baseball season, I was trying to think of something that, applied to baseball, but got my interest piqued when I saw a meme on Facebook this week. And the Yankees picked up the highest priced player in baseball in a trade with the Miami Marlins, Giancarlo Stanton, the National League home run leader last year. So now the Yankees not only have the American League home run leader from last year in Aaron Judge, they've got Giancarlo Stanton. Well, Giancarlo Stanton in his first game as a Yankee got booed quite resoundingly because in his first game at Yankee Stadium, he struck out 5 times. And he seems to be having a little trouble mastering the American League's pitching, even though he's hit a few bombs. But he seems to be bitten by the K bug.
Wow.
So, he struck out last week 16 times in 1 week. And the meme I saw had a picture of Giancarlo Stanton in a New York Yankees uniform and Joe DiMaggio in a New York Yankees uniform. And Giancarlo Stanton in his first week as a Yankee had 16 strikeouts. And in 1941, which happens to be the year that Joe DiMaggio had his 56-game hitting streak and won the American League MVP over Ted Williams, who batted over 400, struck out 13 times that entire season. So that got me thinking, what are the strikeout records for various hitters in the history of baseball? Because it seems to be that that's a statistic that players don't strive to not be at the top of the list. Right. It used to be when I was a child growing up, when I was taught the game of baseball, it was embarrassing when you struck out. You got laughed at by your teammates and by the opposing team when you struck out. So getting the idea of some of the highs and lows of people's strikeouts in their history of baseball, I found it kind of interesting. So the fewest strikeouts in a career, okay, in the American League, Joe Sewell, who played for the Cleveland Indians and the New York Yankees, 114 times in his career.
Wow.
Okay? And I want you to remember these numbers because there's going to be some pretty staggering differences here.
I can't wait till you get to Babe Ruth.
The National League leader in the fewest strikeouts for a career, I don't know, was this Big Poison, Lloyd Weiner?
I think.
Okay,
yes.
Lloyd Weiner, who played most of his career with the Pittsburgh Pirates, for the Boston Reds, the Boston Braves, I believe, the Cincinnati Reds, the Philadelphia A's, and the Brooklyn Dodgers, struck out 173 times in his entire career. So I go to the most strikeouts in a career.
Can't wait.
And once again, there is a Pirate among the batters that had the most strikeouts. But in the American League, Reggie Jackson, by far, had the most strikeouts of anybody in Major League history with 2,597. And in the National League, and may he rest in peace, because 17 years ago Sunday, he passed away. And Willie Stargell, the Pittsburgh Pirates, struck out 1,936 times. Now, Willie takes the title for most strikeouts with one team, whereas Reggie Jackson with the Oakland A's struck out 1,180 times. So those are some of the numbers. Those are the highs and those are the lows for a career. The fewest strikeouts by a league leader in the American League, it was Jimmy Fox with 66. and Ed Morgan of the Cleveland Indians. And in the National League, George Grantham of the Chicago Cubs was 63. Fewest strikeouts in a season. Joe Sewell with the Cleveland Indians in 1925 and 1929 struck out 4 times. Charlie Holliker for the Chicago Cubs in 1922 struck out 5 times.
Wow.
Okay. The fewest strikeouts in a season by a left-hander. Joe Sewell again with 4 strikeouts, and again Charlie Holliker. Fewest strikeouts in a season by a right-hander. Lou Bordeaux of the Cleveland Indians and good old Stuffy McInnes of the Boston Red Sox with 9. Emil Verben for the Philadelphia A's with 8. Fewest strikeouts in a season by a rookie. Tom Oliver of the Boston Red Sox in 1930 with 25. And Buddy Hassett of the Brooklyn Dodgers with 17. Fewest in, then they get into fewest strikeouts by a switch hitter, which we don't need to get into. So the most strikeouts in a season. And in the American League, Adam Dunn with the Chicago White Sox in 2012 with 222 strikeouts in 1 year. That is more strikeouts in 1 year than Lloyd Weiner had in his career.
Yeah.
Okay? And in the American League, Mark Reynolds for the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2009 with 223. So as you can see, less emphasis was being put on hitting the baseball because these guys swung big and they went for it all or they didn't.
They didn't.
They didn't get anything. And the numbers are staggering. And most of the numbers for the highest strikeout totals in Major League history have happened in 2010, 2007, 2008, 2013, 2009. Oh, by the way, most strikeouts in a season by a rookie. Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees last year with 208.
Wow.
Okay. In the National League, it was Chris Bryant in 2015 with 199. So, we get into some other strikeout statistics, which I found kind of interesting. Most consecutive strikeouts in a baseball game by a pitcher. Interesting stuff here. One of the greatest left-handers to ever play the game. One of Allen's favorites, Sandy Koufax, has struck out 12 consecutive batters.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in his career.
Get on.
Okay. Al Hanahan for Washington struck out 13 batters.
Wow.
In 1968. A lot of these strikeouts happened in the year of the pitcher.
Sure.
And if anybody doesn't know what the year of the pitcher is, in 1968, the pitchers so far exceeded the hitters. Bob Gibson had an ERA of this season of 1.15. Denny McLain won 31 or 32 games that year. So what Major League Baseball did to give the batters, they lowered the mound by 6 inches. So, most strikeouts in a season in consecutive games. Mike Thurman for Montreal Expos, 15.
Wow.
No, this is the most strikeouts in plate appearances. So Mike Thurman of the Montreal Expos struck out 15 times in a row. Okay.
Wow, that's not a good stat.
Reggie Jackson struck out 4 times in a row. Reggie Jackson did it. Struck out 4 times in a row, multiple times through 1968 to 1971. And the statistics go on and on. Here we go. Most games in a season. Okay. Most games with no strikeouts consecutively. Joe Sewell for the Cleveland Indians, 115.
Oh, wow.
115 games without a strikeout.
That's amazing.
Lloyd Weiner of the Pittsburgh Pirates, 77. Most games in a career with 4+ strikeouts. Reggie Jackson leads the pack with 23. Ryan Howard of the Philadelphia Phillies did it 27 times.
Oh, man.
Reggie Jackson also struck out 5 times in a game on more than one occasion, as did Bo Jackson and Dick Allen. Most strikeouts in a doubleheader. 7. Frank Howard is one of the more notable names there. Pat Siri, Mike Vail. Most strikeouts in a game in a 9-inning contest, 5 times. And the most recent of those would have been last week when Giancarlo Stanton equaled that feat. And the laundry list of players that have done that, it's too long for me to get into. But the point that I'm making is the art of hitting has gone downhill. One of the things that I wanted to look up today and I didn't find is how many active baseball players in the major leagues this year have a career 300 batting average. And I'll have that answer for you folks next week. But, you look at some of the greatest of all time. I would be surprised if there's one.
Yeah.
But
there may be a couple.
Yeah, there could be, but I'll dig into the numbers and find out. But you look at some of the greatest players of all time. The best batting average of all time was Ty Cobb, and I believe it was 365 or it was 359, something like that.
Sure.
It was sick. One of the greatest hitters to never get into the Hall of Fame, Shoeless Joe Jackson, had a career batting average of 349. And then, so there's quite a number of players that had, and these are players that had careers that were more than just a couple of years long. They were 14, 15, 16, 17-year careers. So the art of hitting has gone downhill. And as I heard Clint Hurdle say today in the pregame show for the game, good pitching will always beat good hitting.
Wow. Write that down, folks. Thanks, Chip. I appreciate that. Our On Location report, what a great show. Smokin' Jim showed up in a borrowed car. That helped kick it off. He was talking bad about Tiger Woods and everybody else, but you have to watch when that comes out tomorrow. Had a great show on location at Olive Oil's Pizzeria and more, Brookline Boulevard, 930 Brookline Boulevard. Great show. We had a Miss Pennsylvania, Rachel Rackoven, just won this award. She's in the getting water for people that need wells and has a foundation that does it. She's an educated person. I asked her if she could talk sports. She told me she didn't think she could. Well, needless to say, when we asked her what kind of sport she participated in, she was a swimmer who ended up getting scholarship offers to swim, but instead of taking those scholarship offers, she went to Cincinnati College for 4 years and swam on a team there. So from not being anything about athletics or don't ask me about the Steelers and sports here, she had a whole career of sports. And then she has 2 daughters that swim, and they're winning awards and things. So she does have a sports background. I pulled it out of her. It was difficult. She's a Miss Pennsylvania and is doing a lot of great things. You have to check out the show. Very nice person, great conversation. Then we had the Pittsburgh Thunder's Ultimate Frisbee team in there. They come up. Andrew Gardner's the general manager, brought his coach up and 3 players. And believe it or not, now they're having women play in the Ultimate Frisbee. Why not? Women are in all kind of sports. The 2 ladies were great to talk to. Of course, they all have day jobs. One's a psychologist, one's a recruiter, and the one guy has a food truck, some type of, I forget the food, chili or something, but he has a food truck. So had a great conversation with them. They're excited about their season. They went to the championship game and lost, so they're going to try to do better this year. And I said, good karma on Pittsburgh Sportsline will get you that championship this year. So they gave Smokin' Jim and I tickets to go to the game. Smokin' Jim promised that he'd go to their games like he said last year. Guess how many games he went to? 0. And he said he would do it, and I said, my man lies. So Smokin' Jim, if you're watching, they caught you. But he did say it again to him. I said, just ask him. He said, I'll be there.
Yeah, ask him how many baseball games he's gone to.
One.
3
innings
or
innings.
Less. He was there from the 3rd to the 6th.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Well, we had to go find his car where he parked it in downtown Pittsburgh, which was right on the street where he left it. So that wasn't a good excuse, but that's our man. But on location, the Pittsburgh Thunderbirds, look for good things with them. They play their game on Duquesne's new fields up there at the university. They said it's a little windy up at that altitude on the bluff there, but they're at the Duquesne College field, and they say it's a little tough at times throwing that Frisbee around, but they'll handle it. And then we ended the show with the Steel City Yellow Jackets, an ABA basketball team who went to the championship game, and here they lost. They had a good season, 14-5, did well. Ace Pippin's great head coach of the team, who's in a wheelchair and has managed to guide the team to these victories, and he brought a few of his players there, and we had a great time talking to them. We'll be back next month on the 14th, 9:30 Brookline Boulevard, 7:30 to 8:30. Check it out. I got the director of the Vintage Grand Prix that runs in Shenley Park every July. They've been doing it about 35 years. Myron Cope started it, where they fundraise for autism. So it's a great cause, and he'll be talking about that. You have to meet him. That's May 14th, believe it or not. Month of May's coming up. Hopefully we'll shake off the cold weather and snow. The Loose Leaf Green Tea weather report, I had a little film of snow on the deck as I posted it up. So hopefully that'll be gone. The weather report, 77 degrees on Friday, so we'll be hopeful there. On location next week is at Hollywood Lanes. We have the return of Wendy Bell talking about her podcasts that are going to be starting. It's always nice having Wendy Bell on. What a positive person with 4 boys. And she's always full of energy. Can't wait.
Doesn't she have 5?
5, yeah. I stand corrected.
There you go.
Yes, 5 boys. It's just amazing. She brought, 3 of them on the show last time. So who knows who will come this time. And then we have the Obama ladies basketball team who've won 4 championships in a row on with Monique McCoy and her coaches, Dap Porter and Devion Alexander. They brought these champions home, so they're welcome again to be on our show. They'll be there next week at Hollywood Lanes, 7:30 to 8:30. Check it out. Come on out there. Meet Jeffrey Park, great owner of Hollywood Lanes, and Lindsay Marie, the manager. And maybe they'll have their little girl, 1-year-old Delaney there. Cute little girl. So check us out. Hollywood Lanes next week. That's Monday the 16th, 7:30 to 8:30. See you there. Penguin Talk. Penguins are in the playoffs again for the 12th year. Unbelievable home ice advantage.
Home ice advantage for the first round. Depending on how
we need it this year.
Our
away record's been terrible.
In the Metropolitan Division, has the Columbus Blue Jackets, the New Jersey Devils. It has the Penguins and the Capitals. Okay, so we're playing the Flyers in the first round, and Alan's all in on a three-peat, and I certainly am rooting for the Penguins.
You're not against it. I am
not against it, and I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. But as I was saying to Devin and to Alan before the show started, yes, is this Penguin team capable of winning 4 playoff series this year? Yes, they are. They're also capable of losing 1, and that's all it takes. And, I think Philadelphia is a team that, when the Penguins and the Flyers play, there's something that makes the games a little more intense than with other teams.
Yeah.
There's a history they got. You go back to the year 2000, the 5 overtime game. And
I remember
the Penguins played the Flyers. It was a game that I went to bed and woke up the next morning. They were still playing. Okay, and
you get up early.
That's an incredible thing. But the Penguins, like Alan mentioned before, they've got all the offensive firepower you need with Phil Kessel, Evgeny Malkin, of course with Sidney Crosby. Jake Getzel's been hot as of late. And, Brian Rust is probably one of the fastest skaters in the NHL. And when he's on the ice, things happen in a hurry. But the one thing that has been consistent throughout the year is that the Penguins do have defensive lapses. And the Philadelphia Flyers, people may not know much about them, but their record was pretty close to identical to what the Penguins were this year. They've got some players that could put the puck in the net, too. 2 of their top players were in the top 10 in scoring in the NHL this year. So, we can't just think that, playing the Flyers is going to be a walk in the park. And where the Penguins have had the most difficulty, you always heard Mike Sullivan say, when we play the game and we play it the right way. Well, the right way to play the game in Mike Sullivan's system is to keep the puck away from your opponent.
Sure.
And what ends up ultimately happening is, because of breakdowns or whatever, we're giving the other team as many shots on goal as we're getting, which the more shots that you get on goal, the more likelihood that some of them are going to sneak past.
Yes.
Murray can't stop them all. And, with DeSmith, looks like he's going to be the backup goaltender.
He did
and
well.
He did real well in the season finale, shut out the Ottawa Senators to help wrap up first-round home ice advantage against the Flyers. But, if Matt Murray gets hurt for any extended period of time, I don't know if DeSmith is good enough to take us deep into the playoffs. So those are just some things that are on my mind.
They're great.
They're on my mind.
Yeah, they're great concerns, because it's tough to win 1 trophy, let alone 2 trophies, and now 3 trophies. But they're set up to do this. They have the team that's set up to do it.
In all of professional sports, I think the hardest championship to win is the Stanley Cup. The 4 7-game playoff series. And hockey is such a fast, physical game.
Yeah.
That it's not like it's not like basketball. I mean, there's a lot that happens, and it is brutal. Now, that all being said, the Penguins got to get past the Flyers first, and they can't look any further than the Philadelphia Flyers going into the into the first round. There's a couple of teams in the Eastern Conference that the Penguins, are going to have their hands full. One of them being the Tampa Bay Lightning, and we cannot forget about the top point-leading team in the Eastern Conference, which was the Boston Bruins.
Sure.
And those are 2 teams that are to be reckoned with. Everybody says, well, what about the Washington Capitals? Well, Alex Ovechkin will do his disappearing act that he usually does the second week of April every year.
Yeah.
The Capitals, they might get past the Blue Jackets, but I don't think they'll get much further than that.
They're consistent.
Yeah, well, they are. But I don't think they're really of any concern. They've gone ahead and they've announced their backup goaltender as the starting goaltender in the first game instead of Brandon Holtby, who has been in their number 1 goaltender for the last few years. So if the coach doesn't have enough faith in his number 1 goalie,
what's that tell you?
What does that tell you about their chances in the playoffs this year?
Good points, Chip. Yeah. We'll take these one game at a time, 1 series at a time, and keep moving forward. The offense has been showing off that they can score the goals, and we need that. The defense, they do have their lapses, but Murray's saved them quite a few times, no pun intended. He has saved them on quite a few occasions. So what if his glove hand's a little weak still, but it's gotten better?
Yeah. No, I mean, Murray is quite capable of putting the team on his back and carrying them to another cup. He was, played a big part in 2 cups. Yes, Marc-Andre Fleury played his role in the last 2.
We won it because of him.
Yeah, he was every bit a contributor, but
so was Murray.
Matt Murray has shown that he is. I mean, here's a guy in his third year in the league. He's already got 2 Stanley Cups under his belt. Not
That's
too many
quite the
goaltenders.
resume.
Yeah, not too many goaltenders in the history of the league can say they started out their career that way.
As they say, it's not too shabby.
Yeah, I would say. So then, okay, you look over into the Western Conference, and the team that gave the Penguins all they could handle in the finals last year, the Nashville Predators, looks like they're
back.
They're primed and ready to go. Now, also the Las Vegas Knights surprised everybody this year by being the number 2 seed. But here's the thing. Las Vegas Knights are going to be playing the Los Angeles Kings. The Los Angeles Kings are nothing to sneeze at.
They can play some hockey.
In the last 6 or 7 years, they've won a couple of Stanley Cups themselves. So, I would be very surprised if Las Vegas ended up going deep into the playoffs. And I look to see Nashville, in the finals, and I would love to see the Penguins there with them. But, I tell you this is going to be the Penguins' biggest challenge this year, because there are so many teams that are primed and ready because they've seen what the Penguins have done over the last 2 years.
Sure.
And people are, it's a copycat league. Everybody's gotten faster, and they've gotten more skilled players. You don't see the big lumbering goons, so to speak. There's not a place for them. A lot of skill and a lot of speed. And so, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. Tomorrow night looks like a great game. We'll see what happens there. I predict the Penguins win that, start off with a bang. They'll have the big screen TV outside.
Yeah.
Weather not permitting, it'll just be there.
Yeah,
So.
It'll be there. But you know what? Pittsburghers are stout folks. I'm sure they'll have their couches out and a couple of heaters and some antifreeze.
Plenty of antifreeze. You can guarantee that. They'll be fine there. There's no doubt about it. But let's go Pens. Can't wait for the game to start tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll look forward to that, and we'll be talking about that throughout the playoffs. So.
Yes, absolutely. The journey begins today. It ends, I think, in the second week of June.
Yeah.
So, and the question that was asked today by the people on Talk Radio was, how far do you feel that the Penguins have to go this year in the playoffs for it to be considered a successful season? Of course, there's the group of people that say Stanley Cup or bust. And there's some people that says that even if they get knocked out in the first round, hey, they've had a good run. They've got 2 cups under their belt. But I think they're going to go further than the first round. But I do know this. If they take anything for granted, they will get passed by.
Yeah, there's no doubt. They have to show the intensity and the will to win and the desperation that the other teams already have, because they want to beat us.
Well,
so
everybody,
we want to beat them.
Yeah, everybody wants to beat the defending champ. They want to they want to put that scalp on their belt, so to speak.
There's been a target on us all year, for better or worse, and we did get better at the end of the year. They flipped that switch come January. They're one of the few teams that I've seen in sports be able to turn it on like they have.
Yeah,
power-wise.
See, that's the thing. They have to have the switch has to be on from the first puck drop until the puck, until the
game, 60 minutes.
60 minutes, because they can't wait and try to play catch up, because
well, they've done it. They have the skills to do it.
They have, but you go to that well one too many times. One of these times, the bucket's going to come up empty.
I don't know how many times they can do it, but just jump on them fast. Keep pounding that net. Get that puck on the net.
Yes,
That's
sir.
the key.
Yes,
we need to see that. So I'll be yelling at the screen, get that puck out of there and get that puck on goal.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. They focus on that.
One of the things that they really focused on, they were interviewing Mark Recchi today. And Mark Recchi is one of the assistant coaches for Mike Sullivan. And a couple of the things that they really focused on with Phil Kessel and Evgeny Malkin is that when they played together, each of them were hesitant to shoot the puck. and they were insistent upon forcing them to shoot the puck more when they're on the ice together. And I don't know why they would defer to one another. I mean,
they have such great passing skills that they're showing them off. Guess what? I want to see the goal on net.
Yeah, I want to see the red lamp lit.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way you do that, you throw the puck at the net and good things happen.
And you get somebody around there to get those dirty goals.
And and Sid has had a couple of all-time highlight goals in the last couple of weeks.
Hitting the puck in the air like that.
I mean, he's just amazing. He
the hand-eye coordination and the follow through with that with a stick is just unbelievable.
They say that you would not believe how hard he works before practice and after practice. And here he is, arguably the best player in the game, and he's there early. He stays late. He works. Well,
and he lifts other players up by what he does.
If your star player is working that hard, how do you get away with not?
Exactly. And we see that through all these guys with Kessel, Hornquist, Hagelin. Letang has improved, from how he started the year out.
And Letang, maybe getting closer to being his old self. When you have the kind of surgery that he had, even any type of major surgery, it takes a long time for you to heal, to feel right. Even though he's been playing, who knows if he's 100%. He's got the adrenaline going. He's got the desire to play, And
he's in shape. The thing is,
he always has been.
Yeah,
he always has been.
One of the key things about him, but the quality of his playing has gotten better from what I've seen. So, I mean, that keeps me a little bit more hopeful with what they can do and what they have to do. So we'll clinch it out. We've talked Penguins. We got Buccos on the table. They just won today. Cervelli just hit a 3-run homer.
Cervelli hit a 3-run homer.
Marte
hit a home run. Corey Dickerson had a 2-run double.
Yeah.
Colin Moran's playing solid in the field. He's batting over 300. The Pittsburgh Pirates, I believe right now, are a better team than they were last year. And Colin Moran seems to be the answer to the third base question.
Yeah. So far.
He's a rookie. He's played 10 games, but he's done very well for himself. Corey Dickerson was a masterful play by Neil Huntington, and nobody gives Neil Huntington any credit for that because they're too busy belly aching about all the players that he let get away and didn't get anything back in return. But Corey Dickerson is a solid left fielder. Last year he made the All-Star team. He hit 27 home runs for the Tampa Bay Rays last year. And we got him for nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, basically cash considerations. He was designated for assignment from the Tampa Bay Rays, who were having a bargain basement clear out. But the thing that is making the Pirates go right now is the young starting pitching that they have, and there's been nobody bigger than Jamison Tyon, who seems to have a Sunday afternoon a one-hit, 9-inning complete game. And the only hit that he gave up in that game, a shutout, was to the opposing pitcher. Can you believe that?
Right.
Right.
So, to pitch a one-hitter, 7 strikeouts, no walks, I think.
So. No walks. But, Jamison Tyon has taken on the responsibility of being the ace of the staff.
Well, he earned it. He was still throwing a 96 mile per hour in the last inning.
And he seems to have, you think about all of the hardships that he's overcome, and the young man's got his head. He's got his head, Tommy John surgery, and then there was other things. He's focused, and the Pirates are going to have him for a while. Ivan Nova pitched a nice game today. Pitched 7 innings strong.
Yeah.
Okay. Trevor Williams. One of the things that I like about Trevor Williams is that he finds a way to keep runners from scoring even when he doesn't have his good stuff. I swear he pitches better with 2 runners on base than he does from the windup.
Well, the double plays that he gets and initiates, it's unbelievable.
And those don't happen by accident. No. They don't happen. Chad Cole is another young man who's learning his trade. And Stephen Brault has filled in quite well for Joe Musgrove,
Yeah.
who is now throwing again. He had some shoulder soreness.
Sure.
There was no structural damage. So they have him on a plan. He threw today off the level ground. They're going to get him onto the bump, I would expect, this weekend and continue with his progress. And in the meantime, Stephen Brault has been more than adequate as the number 5 starter. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we find out as Musgrove improves that maybe Stephen Brault is the number 5 starter and Musgrove is the middle reliever, because that's the role he filled for the world champion Houston Astros last year. And he was a very big part of the reason why the Astros won the World Series last year. So, we've got some things to look forward to. Gregory Polanco this year, leading the league in RBIs, and he's got 13 RBIs already as of April the 9th. Last year, it was June the 5th before he had his 13th RBI. Gregory Polanco seems to be healthy.
Sure.
He seems to be patient. It looks like the Pirate hitters are hitting the ball where it's pitched to them. If the ball's pitched away from them, they're going to the opposite field. If they got a chance to get the barrel on the ball, they're getting a barrel on the ball. They're not swinging at bad pitches, and their walks are up.
Yeah, they look more disciplined.
And
they truly do.
And they are absolutely, right now, one of the strongest offenses in the
Well, they're
National
averaging
League.
over 6 runs a game, and they scored 8 today.
They put up 8 today. Now, folks, before we crown them champions, let's not forget, it's April the 10th. We're 10 games into the season.
152 to go.
I understand all of this. But you know what? There's a lot of good things that, they're developing good habits now that if they continue these things, and if you notice, there's more team unity and people are picking one another up, and everybody is
They're
next
playing
man
for
up.
each other.
And I actually think that with the absence of Andrew McCutchen, and please don't get me wrong when I say this, I loved Andrew McCutchen. He gave us 9 great years, and I'll always remember him as a great Pirate. But I think Starling Marte is now out from underneath the shadow of Andrew McCutchen, and he's not playing Andrew's position anymore. So he's able to flourish, and he's playing an excellent center field. Starling Marte was faster than Andrew McCutchen, has a stronger arm, and now that he doesn't have to look over his shoulder and worrying about, what did I just take from Kutch, who's the face of the franchise, I think the Pirates are a better team, since they've gotten rid of him. And I don't mean to disparage Andrew at all. I wish him nothing but success, and I hope he does well. But
he just had a 6-for-7 game.
He just had, well, prior to that game, though, his batting average is at a .083. And then after that game, when he went 6 for 7, hitting a walk-off 3-run home run in the 14th inning, his average went up to 248.
That's not bad.
But that's not bad. But that's not unusual for Andrew McCutchen.
He's a streak hitter.
He starts slowly, every year in April.
Sure.
And, Corey Dickerson in left field, Gregory Polanco in right, Starling Marte in center.
Yeah, it's a strong outfield.
And that's as good an outfield as the Pirates have fielded in quite a number of years.
No, there's no doubt. You can see the difference. 10 games don't make a season.
No, they don't.
I'll jump on that bandwagon too. That's a long year, but you got to enjoy the type of baseball they're playing, the offense that they do have. We're not saying where's the offense, where's the pitching. We got both.
Well, and here's the thing that I noticed. Clint Hurdle is managing the team differently this year. It seemed like always in April and May that he would leave a guy in too long. He'd let games get away from us with the idea that we'll make up those games later on in the year. The year that we won 98 games and we still ended up 1 game shy of the Cardinals that year. If we would have won a couple of more games in April, we wouldn't have had to worry about playing in a wild card game. But so people can say, well, we played the Detroit Tigers and we played the Cincinnati Reds, and those 2 teams stink. You're right, they do. But guess what? They're Major League Baseball teams. The Minnesota Twins, who we split a series with, are also a playoff contender from last year. And the defending division champs, we beat them 1 game today. Every single one of these games count, okay? So, 8 wins against 2 losses. Who had that? I didn't have that. I did say prior to the season starting that I believed the Pirates were going to be better than anybody gave them credit for.
You did say it.
And they are showing that they have the ability to do that. Now, can they continue this? We got 5.5 months of the season yet to go. So there's a long way to go, but it's going to be a fun ride. And I'm sure there's going to be some ups and downs. There always is. That's one of the reasons why I love Major League Baseball.
162 games for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt.
One of the things a 162-game season will do for you, it will expose your flaws. At some point, you're going to be stripped bare. And, but right now, they're a lot of fun to watch. They are.
And they're scoring a lot of runs.
Yes, they sure are.
So, and even using the long ball at times, which...
Yeah, and they've got some pop in the bats. Polanco's hitting it hard. Marte's hitting it hard. Corey Dickerson's hitting it hard.
Yeah.
Colin Moran hit a grand slam on his first at-bat at PNC Park on opening day.
That was great.
What a way for a rookie to make a statement, huh?
I happened to be watching the game and saw that. It was just
I
awesome.
heard it on the radio, and I was hooting and hollering.
Yeah, I actually saw it, and, unbelievable. Got a hold of that
But
ball.
you know what the funny thing was? The thing that amused me the most? The big story of the game was the number of fans that weren't there, because some people just want to promote, their negativity.
Sure.
Instead of, right now they should be talking about the team that's playing on the field. But no, you know what we want to do? There are a certain group of people that are actually rooting for the Pirates to lose. I just can't.
You got to wrap your mind around it. It's how they are.
You got
to deal with it. It's
I know. I deal with it. But here's the funny thing: every single one of these belly achers, and that's what I'll call them, they'll be back when we're in contention. Oh yeah, and they'll be talking. They'll be waving their flags, and they'll be hooting, hollering, getting in my way because I've been there all since the beginning. But that's okay because there's plenty of room on the bandwagon.
Yeah,
and I'm revving it up again this year.
Oh, they'll join it. We'll just see what happens. It's exciting times right now. This is what you want to see in baseball. As a Pirate fan, I want to see wins. I don't care about the ownership. I never worried about the owners through the 70s, 80s, 90s. Never worried about owners.
Well, another thing I didn't.
Why do we got to worry about the owner?
You know what I never worried about either? How much each player's getting paid. That's a question I never ask anybody.
It doesn't matter to me. They're in the entertainment business.
Show me what you've got. I don't care what you make.
And there's only a select group of people that even make the major leagues. So these are the best of the best. Even if you have the worst team, they're still the best players in the country. So I'd rather root for the Buccos. Let's go Buccos. Let's go Penguins. I bleed black and gold. We didn't get any Steeler talk because Smoking Jim didn't make it.
Yeah.
That draft's coming up. We'll have to talk to Smoking Jim. We'll have to see what's going on. Thanks for watching our show. I appreciate you. And thanks to Devin Shea, Dave Cable for getting this going. Sounds great in here. And I end each show with Stay Joey Strong.